Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Schmoes Show. I'm your host, Nathan Sorian, and I'm a Schmo.
I'm Cairo. I'm also a Schmo.
So, to this night on the Schmoes Show, we've got the actual problem with billionaires as we pick on Elon Musk a little bit more for spending a wee bit too much time on Twitter. Travis Scott had a concert and something bad happened about it, but Travis
In
decided,
Star Fox. God,
"You okay?"
I am not okay. This is
And Eternals.
this is gonna be an eternal episode. That's for sure.
Oh, really?
Probably.
So, should we just get right into this?
Yeah. Let's do the Travis Scott first
Okay.
because there's not a whole lot to say here, and it is incredibly tragic.
Yes.
So Travis Scott was at the Astro World Festival in Houston this week. I believe this happened on Friday night. He was performing. There was I don't know what you call it, rush in the crowd to get as close to the stage as possible, as anyone would expect at an event like this. And there ended up being basically a stampede. And so far, it's reported that at least 8 people have been reported as having died as a result of it. Hundreds were treated, and dozens are still in the hospital for injuries.
Absolutely tragic.
Yep. It's all of the blame does not belong to Travis Scott himself, but some of it does. I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind here. In 2018, he pleaded guilty to a public disorder charge after being accused of encouraging people to rush the stage at a concert in Arkansas. And it's not unknown that fans are going to try and perform behavior like this. So to have an individual who has been publicly charged and found guilty for these kinds of acts and to not take those into consideration in the planning stages for a major event like this is inexcusable.
Yes.
And for him to go on social media afterwards and seemingly almost play the victim in this is kind of disgusting.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's getting like absolutely destroyed on Twitter right now.
I hope so.
Even though
I
Twitter
want to
absolutely
make it
does
clear we
nothing.
weren't aware of any fatalities until the news came out after the show, and in no world would we have continued filming or performing. Absolute bullshit. You are the one of the headline acts at a major event. If you can't see that something is going wrong in the crowd and that there is very obviously emergency vehicles responding to something, then you are blind. Like there is footage on Twitter of people at the festival standing on top of fucking ambulances as they're trying to help people and carry people away. When shit like this happens, there's only one right response, and that's to fucking stop. And when this is the second time that this has happened at your concert specifically, you have to take some of the blame for that.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
where else do you go from
thankfully,
there?
at least, it's the social media age and there's a shitload of footage of it all on social media. So hopefully it'll be pretty clear what the hell happened and they can get closure for this as quickly as possible.
Yeah. I smell some lawsuits.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. If not to Travis Scott particularly, then the venue without question.
Well, I mean, you do have like approximate cause and some negligence there, but
Mm-hmm. Yep, if your venue's set up in a way that you can't control a crowd, that falls on you as a event coordinator at that point.
yeah.
No different than setting up grandstands and having them collapsing because there's too many people in them. You control the number of people that go into that area and don't let more than what you can handle in this location.
Yeah. Are we going to pick on Elon now, or are we going to pick on
While we're going,
Eternals?
let's pick on Elon. Let's pick on
Hey.
Elon while we're in the mood. Last week we had Elon Musk being Elon Musk on Twitter talking about how, um, what was it? One of the chief members of the World Health Organization was responding to a question that he had based on a statement that CNN made, not the World Health Organization. CNN made that stated something along the lines of $8.4 billion could solve world hunger. And Musk basically said, if someone from the World Health Organization can confirm this, I'll do it. And someone from the World Organization came on and was just like, hey, this is not an entirely accurate headline, but if you look at the actual things, $8.4 billion does a huge amount to curb. It was basically, it's not like you can't literally end world hunger in one swing, right?
Yeah.
But it was something like $8.4 billion would give them the means to prevent something like 42 million people in high risk circumstances from basically having the hunger problems, starvation issues that they were having. This week, Elon Musk put out on Twitter with a poll asking if he should sell 10% of his shares in Tesla stock, saying, much is made lately of unrealized gains being a means of tax avoidance, so I propose selling 10% of my Tesla stock. Do you support this? I will abide by the results of this poll, whichever way it goes.
A whole 10%.
A whole 10%, which is I find it really hard to find the point here. Because on the one hand, he's right. One of the major problems with the way that financial code in the US is that gains are not taxed until they are realized, meaning that they are actually sold. So if you're a person like Bezos or Musk and the majority of your income comes through stock and stock options, you don't have an income on those stocks until you sell them, which means you can be earning hundreds of billions up to trillions of dollars that can't be taxed because it's tied up in stocks. That is only done until it's sold. And that is the problem. And it seems incredibly fucked up to me that Musk's solution for that is to sell a tenth of his stock that he's still just keeping the money of.
Yeah. You got a problem with that, bro? I mean, come on. It's like a whole 90% he still gets to keep.
Bring this up on Twitter. I'm gonna see where the poll is at right now. Before it was at like 57% yes. Like who the hell is saying no?
Elon bots.
It's basically the same thing.
Is it? How long is the poll still up?
5 minutes left.
Ooh, okay. I need to get in
So
there
57.9% yes.
Okay, Mr. Dick Rocket Man. Here I come. Ha, I bumped it to 58%. I made a difference today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And it ultimately comes down to the point of the amount of tax generated off of that 20 billion or so that it would end up being is completely not the point, because the generated tax off of that is completely minuscule compared to him just investing $20 billion in public services, charities, and the like.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
So,
I really got not much to say about that.
yeah.
So,
Other news,
yes.
the infrastructure plan passed this week.
Ooh, yeah, I
I forgot about that until just now, yeah. But it's kind of big. I believe this is the BIF.
the Biff.
Oh no. Boulder Growth and Income Fund. No, that's not the right BIF. The Biden infrastructure something. Passed through the Senate and the House. Um isn't it crazy that it passes through just days after the election? Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
You know how it is. Everybody's a little too worried about keeping their jobs.
Apparently.
Yeah. It's
Um but it is passed, so that's good. Um Hopefully now we'll see the Build Back Better shortly afterwards too, which is the one that has a lot more. They're both important, but well, we'll have to wait and see on that.
Oh, of course.
Included in the infrastructure bill, though, is a clause that is making crypto bros uh, lose their shit.
Oh
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. The sheer
Um,
amount of like rees you see
oh
on
yeah,
Twitter is
it's
amazing.
good. It's hilarious how you have the same people that are trying to say cryptos are legitimate and they're an asset, and also, oh no, don't tax me
No
because
tread,
now
please.
no tread. Now, individuals who have performed more than $10,000 in transactions of cryptocurrency will be required to basically disclose that for taxation purposes. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
If you trade assets, you're going to get taxed. So, yeah. And we'll see how effective it actually is. Large part of crypto is, of course, that it is decentralized, so it can be hard to enforce. But I think it's just hilarious. It's always amusing to see these crypto bros lose their shit
Well,
over like the most obvious stuff.
they act like they're on top of the world because they're part of this decentralized cult. And then like as soon as they're reminded that reality exists, it's just an inconvenience to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I ain't got
And
much more to
they're talking about it with this is from a Reddit post on fucking whatever. They say this is a felony violation with jail time involved. Should it not be done? Well, yeah, no shit. That's what happens when you don't report your earnings appropriately.
Yeah.
I guarantee you this shit hasn't gone into effect yet. They're like, you must report to the government within 15 days. Slow the fuck down. That's not how any of this shit works.
I'm kind of curious if the IRS is going to regulate it.
I would assume to a point,
Yeah.
but like it's like with any sort of tax avoidance, because that's basically what it is at this point. Is you're avoiding taxes by, rather than tying it up in stocks, you're tying it up in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
It's heavily reliant on self-reporting because there's not effective systems in place to do otherwise. Okay.
Is there anything else?
Let's talk Eternals.
I was about to say, I'm on the Marvel. No, I'm sorry. I'm the Marvel Cinematic Universe Wikia right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of this stuff is like fresh, because when we were talking about this earlier, we found like a couple plot holes, and I'm trying to see if those plot holes are answered on here by people that actually did see the movie. Not really getting that far. I'm actually finding a lot of grammar mistakes.
Well, it is a wikia. I wouldn't go so far as to call them plot holes as much as just poor writing choices that were probably made in the comics a long time ago, but that you would expect a modern film studio who is basically rebooting this to a different audience to look at and go, yeah, that's kind of dumb. We'll change that. Or we just won't mention it.
Yeah. There's not much I'm finding in terms of ways that better explain some of our problems. So I guess we'll just start with the Eternals.
Eternals. It
Eternals.
has released this weekend to, at best, mixed results bordering on negative. This definitely seems to be the kind of thing, looking at the Rotten Tomato scores, it's always hard with these because Marvel people are going to kind of fanboy it and brigade it a bit.
Yeah.
But uh, critic reviews put it at about 47% positive, and audience scores have it at 81%, given that it is a very CGI centric movie. If you're not looking at it critically the way a reviewer is, you're probably going to enjoy it a lot more. So that makes sense.
That's like every movie though.
Well, I mean, it depends because it can go the other way, there can be movies that are kind of dull and boring for, the average consumer of a film, but are good or move the genre in a way that is otherwise not appreciated by someone who just wants to kill a few hours.
Fair enough.
So, that being said, uh, it feels like there's some problems. So I'm gonna read through. This is the blurb on Rotten Tomatoes. Marvel Studios Eternals features an exciting new team of superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, ancient aliens who have been living on Earth in secret for thousands of years. Following the events of Avengers Endgame, an unexpected tragedy forces them out of the shadows to reunite against mankind's most ancient enemy, the Deviants.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah. Now that we have the full movie out, we of course have the full confirmed plots, including the conclusions for it, on Wikipedia. And we've been reading through them and discussing it before the show started here. And we do have some problems with it. The main one being the same problem that, like, I think pretty much fucking everybody pointed out before it even released, is that there's way too much shit going on for one movie.
Yeah.
You can't have what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 main protagonist-esque characters all revealed at once.
Yeah.
It's just too much. I will say though, what is this from? Looking at a picture here of one of them, the one played by Angelina Jolie, and I'm curious if this is a newer piece of comic art or if it is older, because that is a striking resemblance.
Let me see it. I'll be able to tell you.
Let me see if I can get it.
Gotta
It's just
do
like the
it
little
brave.
Wikipedia blur, but it's 2008. I mean, that's long enough ago. I'll send you this one. But it's just like, oh damn, that does look like Angelina Jolie.
I wouldn't be surprised if the artist had a reference of Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that would have been pretty peak film for her in that era.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's. Do you want to go through like the actual full plot? Just
Um,
kind of go through it, or
should we just
leave
preface?
spoilers out?
Yeah, we should probably preface that neither of us has seen this movie yet.
Yes, we haven't. This is very much just looking at the plot and identifying, like, kind of like looking at a script almost, or a rough draft of a script, and just being like, yeah, that doesn't really work.
It makes me scared.
Yeah, it doesn't make me excited to go and see it. I'll put it that way.
Yes. We'll just, I guess we'll go through like a blurb.
Yep. So the Celestials, or sorry, the Eternals, first came onto Earth in 5000 BC in order to fight the invasive deviants. They were sent to Earth by a celestial named Orisham,
I
and over the millennia, yes,
question. Just
yes,
because the term BC came up, was Jesus an eternal?
that's a good question. Probably not.
I'm just kind of curious if like one of them went to Nazareth and started some stuff and then had to make a way out of town.
It would be amusing.
It kind of would be. But go on. Tell me more.
So the Celestials sent the Eternals to fight off the deviants, and over thousands of years, the Eternals have been protecting humanity from the deviants, but are apparently not allowed to interfere in human affairs. In the 1500s, they killed the last of the deviants that they were aware of on Earth. At that point, the group's differing opinions about their responsibilities at that point separated them from each other while they basically waited for their next orders.
It's the Blues Brothers.
Basically, they're getting the band back together.
We're on a mission from the Celestials.
So, jump to the present day. Two of the Celestials, I'm not even going to bother telling the names because it's more confusing if you know the names, to be blunt, because none of it really matters from part to part. Two of the Celestials are in London, along with a human friend that they have when they are attacked by a new deviant named Crow. a third Eternal comes to help them and fight off this new deviant that appeared. In realizing that the deviants have returned, they are preparing to go and get the rest of the Eternals. They travel to South Dakota, which is apparently where their leader lived, only to find that their leader had already been killed by this same deviant before attacking them in London.
Question: would you go to South Dakota if you were an eternal god that was just, filled with superpowers and could do whatever you want, and you had like all this knowledge and you just choose to settle in South Dakota?
I don't know. Maybe
I
it's
mean,
kind of quiet. There's lots of empty places. So if you're trying to stay hidden, it could be good for that.
South Dakota confirmed in the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Um that line does not matter. At this point, there is an exposition dump that tells the Eternals that their mission was not to fight the deviants necessarily, but to prepare Earth for the emergence. Explaining that the Celestials who sent the Eternals to Earth, these Eternals to Earth, have planted their seeds in populated planets so that a new Celestial can be born. The Celestials also sent the Deviants to destroy the apex predators on the planet to ensure the development of life. But unintentionally, the Deviants evolved and hunted all of the planet's populations, resulting in the Eternals needed to be created and cull them. It's explained that Earth has reached the necessary population for the birth of the Celestial on that planet, which would also result in the destruction of Earth.
Nice. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And then they get the rest of the band back together, I guess, at that point.
We
I
gotta.
hate the way that they do this. Having learned to love humanity. Like, fucking what?
You
It's at
know,
this point that I'm kind of on the side to a point of the ones that turncoat.
yeah.
Because it's just like, no, humanity fucking sucks.
They were literally there for the Palestinian genocide, the Holocaust, the every single genocide pretty much. They were
Mm-hmm.
there to see, assuming Jesus wasn't eternal, that they just like cruelty of just crucifying some dude for dropping some hard truths out of nowhere. You got to see the fall of Rome. Please
Yeah.
tell me like historical events they saw that made it worth it.
I guess we can look at it this way. Maybe everywhere else is just somehow worse.
I mean, look at Thanos.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Do you think they
Um,
were fans of like the Avengers?
I feel like they would have to be,
Yeah.
because the whole idea is that this entire time they've been wanting to help with this kind of shit, but we're told that they aren't allowed to, so they couldn't.
How do you think they felt about Thor? Like when like Norse gods turn out to be real. You think they knew that, or do you think they were just like, oh shit, more gods? New gods just
I
dropped.
would assume they probably knew.
Yeah.
They seem to be kind of all-knowing-ish in
All
their
knowing.
presentation. Just
Some
like
something.
Bifrost opens, oh yeah, it's that guy again.
Damn Thor, get the hell out of here, Thor.
Um, yes, the Eternals reassemble and decide to prevent the emergence and Earth's destruction. At this point, they're attacked again, this time by more deviants. Another one of the Eternals gets killed. Gilgamesh. Isn't Gilgamesh? I thought Gilgamesh was written as the bad character.
I have no idea.
Maybe I'm wrong. I find it really weird that they're killing off all of the characters by the actors that are like known.
Do you really
Do you
need
get
like
what
a
I
reason
mean?
for that?
I mean, I get it, but like Salma Hayek and Don Lee's characters are the first two that killed, and they're like two of like probably they're in the top half at least of recognizable at face characters from their past work.
Yeah.
So killing them off just seems to indicate to me that this is kind of a one-off thing, which sucks. One-off Marvel movies are not good.
I really have no idea what they're planning on bringing the Eternals in here for. That's like
Yeah, it's
really,
weird.
yeah. Like what's I okay. if we look at Phase 4 in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get Black Widow as like an interim welcome back film.
But it
It,
wasn't supposed to be though.
I know. But like I get it. Like if you look at it that way, welcome to Phase 4. You know, it's been a year since
I guess.
we were last here. Um and apparently Black
Honestly, though,
yo,
I really think that it was not meant to be that. I think they knew that it was going to be one of their most mediocre received movies, and they intentionally pushed it out before the other ones because they knew they needed to do something to keep people engaged between the end of Loki and the winter release season. But they couldn't push out their bigger budget ones because they knew at the time theaters weren't really open yet, and it wouldn't make the kind of money they needed it
or hear me out, they just miscounted the number of films they
to.
signed ScarJo for. And they were just like,
Also could be.
yeah. And then the next movie after that, which was Shang-Chi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one makes sense. That
Yeah.
was
Oh yeah.
actually
Yep.
a good world building movie.
Yep. Totally agree.
And then now you have Eternals, which I guess like it's a setup movie. You look at the plot of this, it's very obviously setting stuff up. We are introduced to so much, so many concepts. It's just like, whoa. Where are you going with this? Is it world building? It's a little too close to home
What
to be.
world?
Yeah.
What world are you building? I get that they're clearly trying to lean into more of the celestial stuff, the broader concepts in general with the multiverse and the celestials,
Yeah.
but this doesn't feel like the right way to do it to
No.
me. I would have much rather them had something where you have like the fucking Guardians going back to nowhere because someone's trying to like resurrect the dead celestial. And as a result of that, you have to be explained what the hell these things actually are.
I'm not gonna lie. I liked how the Guardians set up the Celestials as like these background
Yeah,
elements of something much bigger going on.
that
That
was
was
really good because it's just like, oh yeah, that's a literal fucking head. Holy shit, these things are massive.
yes,
And then also they just didn't even talk about it because who the fuck they didn't know about it. They don't know what the hell a celestial actually is.
yeah,
It makes sense that they have to have it explained to them. Where these 7,000-year-old fuckers don't because the celestials are their bosses.
yeah. I feel like this is a bad movie to cement Celestials in.
Yeah.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, if you want to get into it, sure. Like a definitive, this is what a Celestial does. This is how they
Mm-hmm.
work. And then we can just build off them in Eternals. But
Wasn't Quill's father a celestial?
yes, in this universe he is.
I would bet that they probably thought that that was enough of a background,
I,
and they're
I'm
just wrong.
I'm about to say, fucking Kurt. Oh, wait, who played Ego again?
It was
Was it
Kurt Russell. Yeah,
Kurt? Yeah, okay. Kurt Russell is not exactly what I would call comparable to the rest of the Celestials we've
No.
seen.
No, because it's just Kurt fucking Russell.
Yeah.
And then you have it in the third act, the big reveal that the planet is actually his father, not Kurt Russell, and Kurt Russell is just like a vessel.
Yes.
But that happens way too late for it to mean fuck all.
Yes. I'm kind of going through the Wikia right now, trying to figure out where they're going with this. And like, I have no idea. I know they're planning Secret Wars. In fact, I have more proof than ever that they're planning Secret Wars. But where the fuck do Celestials come in this?
Yeah. It's really weird because we know the upcoming movie titles. We had Loki, which set up the multiverse shit really effectively. It was a really good way of having a story that also leads into broader concepts.
Yes.
We know that we're getting the upcoming Spider-Man and Doctor Strange movies. They're going to expand on that. There's nothing that says that we're going to be expanding on the Celestials.
No. My thing is like, are we just going to the Beyonders now? Like, do we have to set up the Celestials to get to the Beyonders? Because that's where Secret Wars come in. But even then, I think it's way too early to be talking Beyonders if we just got to
Oh yeah.
Celestials.
I don't know what those are, but I would just on principle agree that like you can't jump steps.
Okay. Um, let's see. So there's the Beyonder, and then there's like his races, like the race.
Right.
Um, they're cosmic entities to be exact, but I've always just called them Beyonders. Um,
And that is how they're credited in the Marvel wiki.
are they?
Is
Yeah,
just Beyonders.
good. Because quite frankly, the thing is, we should have had some Beyonders already because Death is there. Dormammu is Beyonder, and
Mm-hmm.
like they
Would have been amusing if they alluded to that in Loki with the timekeepers. Have them look like Beyonders, only for them to turn out to be just robots.
yeah, that would have been cool.
That would have been funny.
Yeah,
It sets the seeds at least.
I just man, man, where do we go? Where are we going?
Yeah, right.
I know, like,
Sorry,
I
I have to question this bit here in the wiki real quick
what's up?
because what the fuck?
Go on.
Soon after being hunted down by the Avengers, the Illuminati sent Yellowjacket on a mission to find Rambam Alal. During his journey, Yellowjacket witnessed as the Beyonders annihilated the Celestials, Eternity, Infinity. It's like what? Where the fuck are the Illuminati coming from?
The Illuminati are like an event. It's an Avenger style group of like the smartest people in the the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Iron Man, Black Panther.
It's not what I think of when I hear Illuminati.
Oh, I know they chose that as like a joke name, but I love it. I I hear in leaks they're supposed to be in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Even like more like as like a cameo kind of thing, I would bet. But yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be a big reveal scene in because we've seen the trailers. We know that Strange helps Peter Parker with the problems he's having. They go to do this spell, shit goes sideways, and I guarantee there's going to be an extended, maybe minute and a half sequence of just like reference kind of thing.
Maybe.
Of just like, look at this multiverse, look at that multiverse, look at this multiverse.
Yeah.
Because it's just so obvious. I'll be more impressed if they don't do something like that.
Yeah, there's the Beyonders. I forgot about these shits. There's so much to the Marvel stuff that's hard to keep track
Mm-hmm.
of.
And it's honestly, that is the kind of shit that has kept Marvel off of the mainstream. Is when you start to get too far into the weeds and you need to have too much prior knowledge to understand what the fuck is going on.
Oh, I'm well aware, dude.
The good thing about the Avengers so far is that you can just like watch a movie and just be like, yeah, the good guys are the bright shiny ones and the bad guys are the dark and shadowy ones, and they fight and the good guys win.
So if Celestials are in the MCU, does that mean Null's in the MCU somewhere? Because I know Venom's
Mm.
now here, and they've alluded to Venom like having connections to Null in his movie. Would you like to know what a Null is?
Sure. What
God
is a
of
null?
God of the Forge, Abyss. He hunts Celestials for fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, he looks like a metal cover.
Looking up now, he does look like a metal cover.
He's an edgy boy. I love him.
Yeah.
He's dead right
Yeah.
now. Yeah. But yeah, what are we gonna do, Marvel? Come on, like this movie is set up so I don't feel like I know what this is supposed to be. Do you, dear Chiral?
Nope.
Yeah. Um. Apparently, we did get some more potential Spider-Man leaks.
Have we? Are
Yeah.
they of importance?
Like apparently just a summary of the trailer, next trailer.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's.
there is a
Hmm.
rumor spawning that that we're getting a weird after credit scene with Spider-Man and Venom meeting.
Would certainly be one way of bury the lead and be like, yeah, it's all in one now.
Yeah. Um, apparently the Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire cameos are hinted at in this next trailer if this leak is to be believed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense if they're following with it. They teased the villains in the first trailer, teased the extra Spider-Men in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for this movie very patiently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know. Like we're at a very weird point in the MCU where we're getting too much and we're not getting enough at all. Things are moving very strangely.
Mm-hmm.
I miss movies when they were just movies.
Speaking of, we are of course in the thick of the holiday season.
I couldn't tell.
I think it's important to laugh at some of these stupid Christmas movies.
Go on.
I'm trying to figure out which one is worse. So do we have uh Freaky Friday but Christmas? Do we want the Polar Express but B tier and live action? Or do we want budget, we want to look like Disney but we're not Disney animated flick?
I'll take budget Disney for 100, Alex.
That would be a piece of cake.
What is I don't know. Uh
This is dumber than I thought it would be.
what is
The
this?
tiny gnome-like elfkins have lived in hiding for more than 200 years. After being dismissed by her fellow elfkins one too many times, young Elfie decides it's time to try and return to the human world. Joined by two reluctant elfkin boys, Elfie meets Chef Theo, who is about to lose his bakery to his scheming brother. Remembering that once upon a time the Elfkins used to help humans, Elfie and her friends decide to learn how to bake so they can save the pastry shop. Slave labor is cool, kids.
I'll take what is the fuck wrong with this movie, Alex?
What the fuck?
I just
So I think this is actually trying to just as much play off of like the Romeo and Juliet stuff too.
I was about to say, is that by Elton John's like actual production company?
I have no idea. It is distributed by Viva Kids. Who knows? Directed by Utvan Manchau Pol. Oh my god, this is a series.
Oh no.
Wait, is this? They have another movie that they're credited as director for called The Elfkins Baking a Difference.
What did I just hear? I did not.
Die Hinselsrucker der Hinselmanchen. It's apparently German.
I'm about ready to throw up.
Yeah, this is a second Elfkins movie.
I was unaware of the first.
Wait, oh my god, this is a trans. So this is this is a localized version. So these are the same movie localized two different ways. This is fascinating.
Maybe for you. In the same way
Like
smallpox
this is the
fascinating.
difference between how they're advertising this movie in like Germany and presumably most of Europe compared to how they're advertising it in North America.
Oh god, no.
So we had a piece of cakes movie info, which sounds shit. This is Die Hinsels For more than 200 years, the Elfkins have been living underground, hiding from the upper world and avoiding any interaction with the ungrateful and mean human beings. But one day, the vivid Elfkin girl Helvi cannot bear the lack of space and individual fulfillment any longer. Together with two companions, the Elfkin boys Kip and Butz, she climbs up to the Earth's surface to find her fate. After hilarious adventures, Helvi's growing friendship with the initially grumpy pastry chef Theo will remind her and all the other Elfkins of their true purpose in life, helping others. That sounds like an actual fucking kids movie. Holy shit.
I'm sorry. My ears just kind of blur everything out in an effort to
Yeah, no,
protect me.
that's valid. That's understandable.
Yeah. It's a little practice of self-love I try.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious that in the Elfkins cover art, it's just the Elfkins, and then presumably the one they made for the US release just has a big old CGI dog on it because, that's what parents are going to buy. They
Duh.
took an original movie and were just like, okay, how many already known franchises can we make this look like to trick people into buying copies?
Good shit.
Very interesting. So even this is weird. They have both the English and apparently foreign language voice actors for it, but they like went and completely changed the names of the characters. Like are fragile North American children's ears too small and undeveloped to have a main character named Helvy? Apparently so.
I'm a fully developed adult and I don't even understand that name.
It's bizarre. Let's start with this other one. This is I'm not gonna even go through this because it's too stupid, but I'm gonna show you this cover art.
Okay.
Tell me this is not somebody wants you to buy this because it looks like the Polar Express.
Oh. Oh.
Right?
Oh.
Polar Express AF.
I'm getting a little bit of Thomas and the Magic Railroad vibes as well.
Apparently they're also doing the not at all played out go back and do time travel stuff to learn where you fucked up in life thing.
Oh, so it's an end game. Got it.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
Like, look at this and tell me you don't get a little bit of Magic Railroad vibes.
Yeah, no, that is. Yeah.
It's almost the same conductor's outfit except for a splash of red in the original.
Is that Alec Baldwin?
Is that?
Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Who the hell is the conductor? That's Alec fucking Baldwin.
Thomas,
Oh my
run.
god.
Run before
Run,
he shoots
Thomas. He's got a gun.
you.
Oh man.
Oh no, Thomas, run away! Maybe the real Magic Railroad was Alec Baldwin's gun. Uh,
Wait, what?
what?
Okay, I'm reading through the Great Christmas Switch now, and it too is somehow even stupider than I thought it would be.
Is there a single good one of these?
No, they're Christmas movies. There's no such thing as good Christmas movies anymore. All the good Christmas movies were made in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they're animated.
I beg to
And
differ.
also Die Hard, but that was
Klaus.
90s.
Klaus is really good, but you don't have
know.
Netflix.
I don't know that one. Klaus. Oh, it's got a good cast.
It's basically Emperor's New Groove, but Christmas.
Huh.
I like it. My girlfriend and I make it a tradition to watch it.
Interesting. I mean, just looking at the cast, I'd be surprised if it was bad, just because that's like a ton of really good, talented actors.
Oh yeah, J.K. Simmons can do no wrong.
Yep. So we have for the Great Christmas Switch, in an effort to get away from their problems, identical twins Bianca, a city girl with a Scrooge-like boss, and Kaylin, a single mother of two, decide to switch places for Christmas.
Okay.
You can guarantee Kaylin, single mother of two, was just like, "Excuse me, I get to leave my kids for a weekend, and I have to just deal with your shitty boss." Abso-fucking-lutely. That does not sound like a fair swap.
No, it really doesn't.
They also took exactly one picture for the cover, and that was the one they used, and it looks kind of shitty.
Nice.
What network is this? GAC Family. What the fuck is GAC Family? Media company, cable network, television network. I've never heard of them. Weird.
Life is weird.
Yeah. We have a couple other movies though that are not Marvel and not Christmas,
Oh
as
God.
far as I know.
What else comes out this time of year?
Apparently, bad movies with Ryan Reynolds.
Hell yeah.
So we had Red Notice come out this week also. And if you thought the Marvel scores were a bit skewed, oh boy. This is a 43% critic score, a 93% audience score.
What?
So this is in the world of international crime, an Interpol agent attempts to hunt down and capture the world's most wanted art thief. Dwayne
Okay.
Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot.
That really just sounds like the kind of movie you put on like when you're drunk with your friends hanging out at their place at like 12 a.m.
Oh, okay. This is a Netflix one.
Oh.
Netflix exclusive release.
Hmm.
So yes, it does sound like that.
Yeah. That's kind of just Ryan Reynolds' film career to me. Not saying he's not a good actor. I'm just saying that's kind of what they typecast him for.
Mm-hmm. It's a series of set pieces flimsily bolted together with Reynolds doing the Reynolds thing, Johnson doing the Johnson thing, and Godot doing the Godot thing. So I mean, I guess that depending on your perspective, that can be either really bad or really good, you know?
My question is, what is the Godot thing? 'Cause I have not seen enough Gal Gadot movies to know what the Godot thing is.
Feminism.
Okay, cool.
I'm half kidding. That's what I've only ever, I think, seen her in the Wonder Woman films, and that is very much her thing in the Wonder Woman films.
That's like Wonder Woman's thing in general. Let's see what movies Gal Gadot's been. Wonder Woman 1984. Come on, Gal, give me some good stuff. Fast 5, Fast 6.
Yes. Who was she in Fast and Furious? Giselle, if you say so.
Justice League, Batman v Superman. Gal Gadot really, I haven't seen much of her movies. She needs to broaden
Yeah,
her span a little bit.
yeah. I guess she's trying that with Red Notice.
Good on her. Congratulations, Gadot. I support this.
And to be fair, the Fast and Furious franchises are pretty fucking big.
Hey, someone's having a car accident out there, it sounds like.
It did sound like that, but it happens.
That literally made me jump in my seat a little bit.
Sure, Fast. I'm doing like keep doing this double take because like I've seen Fast and Furious 5 at least. I don't remember her in it at all. Like she's not a cover character, as far as I can tell. So who the fuck did she play? Oh
She.
no, she is. Did they?
What?
Oh, she's maybe that's her. It looks like she's just like literally the furthest character away from the front of the poster, so it just doesn't look like her because she's so far away and out of focus.
Never mind then.
Yeah. But Red Notice. It's on Netflix. Do with that information what you will.
You know what else is on Netflix right now?
What's that?
Cowboy Bebop, the original.
Oh, did they put it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Mm,
Because obviously
interesting.
the new one's coming out, but
Yeah.
I've been watching it, and I must
Oh
say,
yeah.
it is. I don't know.
It's very 90s anime.
You're right. You
That's like
are
the best way
so
I can
right.
put it. That it's like peak 90s anime, sort of in the same way that like Sailor Moon is. And it's
Yes.
very dated, but it's kind of nostalgic in the same way because of it.
In a weird way, it is both like encapsulated in the 90s, but it is like stronger for that.
Yeah.
I will say I'm enjoying it, but it's
Hmm.
also like I forgot what it was like to watch 90s anime on Toonami.
Yeah. It is very different. It feels a lot to me like the same like when you watch Alien, you
Yeah.
know, it's very clearly was Alien in the 90s? I'm pretty sure it
I
was.
think it was the 80s.
Yeah. You know, you get that very clear 1979. Yeah, you can tell that they're working within limitations of the medium that they had at the time,
Yeah.
but they're doing it well.
Oh, I can't say it's been bad by any stretch. It's just
Yeah,
like
but it is different.
I forgot how much more patient we were in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because there's like moments where it's like sitting on a shot for a little bit longer than I'm used to, and I'm like,
Hmm.
huh, man, there feels like there should be a cut in there by today's standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got to go go go.
Also, it's a lot quieter than most things were back in it than today.
Yep.
So, like when they're in space and they actually take their time to actually make it so it's quiet in space, so you only hear
Hmm.
like the sound effects and the characters speak. Really
Yeah,
cool. Really cool. Love
I'll
it.
say that that's one of the things that I think a lot of people have probably kind of forgotten is that it's been so long since the series came out originally that people have this different perspective of what anime is now. And they see the trailer and it has stuff like that where it's just quiet and it hangs for a bit or the pacing's not as fast as they're used to. And it's just like, "Oh, that's not what I'm used to with anime, but I know Cowboy Bebop is an anime I like, so that's not Cowboy Bebop," when it really is.
Yeah,
And it's just different because it's older.
it is a lot. I like it. I much rather have it
Yeah,
that way.
yeah, it stands out.
Yeah. I would much rather you use your time for what you're actually wanting than to constantly be trying for my attention.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm just like I'm very impressed by it. I really am. They've also got like the nice HD version of it up there, so you can see
Yep.
like all the details in the background sets.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably get a Netflix subscription now then and watch that because when I watched it, it was on Crunchyroll and it was like the crunchy resolution of Crunchyroll.
Oh, the you cheap bastard, pay for your subscription.
Yeah, the I'm letting these ads play. Go fuck yourself. I'll go get a drink in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watching it ad free in full res is definitely gonna be different.
Mm. I don't know. It takes me back, man.
Hmm.
It takes me back to the early 2000s quite a bit.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll just gush about Cowboy Bebop a little bit more. So, when it comes to the Bebop and the Cowboys really bebop the bop,
Sorry about that. I'm back.
but the
I had
Bebop.
a squirrel on my porch.
Oh, I was just saying
That
random.
scare him off.
Okay.
Don't want to, but I also don't want my pumpkins. This happened last year. I don't fucking know how they did this, but I like must have had my blinds closed for a week or something, so I didn't realize. But I had a pumpkin sitting on my porch because I'm on an elevated level, and a squirrel ate a fucking hole through my pumpkin and ate the inside of my pumpkin.
Damn straight. Good on you, squirrel.
Like, I respect it, but also that made a huge fucking mess, and you can get the hell off my porch.
One, I respect you. Two, get the fuck off my porch.
Yeah.
You look up Cowboy Bebop, right?
Mhm.
And the knowledge panel for Google comes up. And it's got like some cool stuff like first episode date, April 3rd, 1998. Genre, neo noir, space
Yeah.
western. Studio,
That's
Sunrise.
actually
What?
I didn't consider that as like a genre. That's a really apt description for it.
Neo noir space.
Neo noir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed's age, around 13 years old, does not have anything else to do with it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you can claim this knowledge panel. Oh.
Maybe that's how Ed's age got up there.
Yeah.
I can confirm I am Mr. Cowboy Bebop himself. I don't know. I'm excited for the live action at least. This has got me really hyped because, like, now that I know Cowboy Bebop's a lot more grounded than I originally anticipated, I'm excited.
So I have YouTube Premium. I'm just looking at this because on the knowledge page there it shows where you can stream it from. Apparently, you can stream it on YouTube TV. I have never actually looked up what YouTube TV costs. What do you think YouTube TV costs per month?
$29.99.
Nope.
Higher or lower?
It is higher.
$49.99.
Nope. Higher.
$79.99. Alex, Bob.
Too high. You went over. It
Damn.
is $65 a month for new users. So it probably goes up after that.
What the?
65 fucking dollars a month. That is crazy.
That's too much, man.
That is way too much.
Why is it so expensive? What does YouTube provide that a normal streaming service cannot?
So apparently they're trying to compete more with like cable stuff. So like you get your internet through the cable, but then rather than paying for cable TV, you get YouTube TV instead. I guess.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't
But
think.
apparently some people do.
I don't think television's really that great of a medium.
Who is paying $110 a month for just cable? That is stupid. If okay, people of the world out there, if you're paying $110 for cable, please stop. You're paying too much. Because that doesn't count like internet. That's just the TV.
Yeah, I'm just reading through like $110 for cable and just seeing what the internet gives me. A lot of math problems. You're in math problem territory.
Let me look this up. Let me see what mine costs. I'm curious now. I'm pretty sure it's not anywhere near that.
100
Just off of memory.
Xfinity. This was my previous cable company before we went streaming.
I currently have Spectrum.
Hmm.
So let me see. What's in your statement? Yeah, so right now I have Spectrum TV that is $70 a month,
Okay.
which is about what I would expect. And that includes an add-on for HBO and HBO Max.
I mean, that's not a bad deal if it's got HBO and HBO Max.
Yeah. Like that's sort of what I would expect. I guess it must be including like sports stuff in that. Because most of the time you're paying extra for sports channels.
Sports is a fucking scam.
I absolutely agree.
I don't get sports. We've had this exact conversation.
I appreciate going in person to a sporting event
Yeah.
because that's like going to see it's going to an event, but just watching it at home is I don't know. Not for the cost of it. If it's free, sure. Who gives a shit? But paying for sports? Nah. Nah.
I really want to go to a boxing event.
It could be fun.
Yeah.
It would be I don't know, I've never been to one, but it looks like it'd be fun. It's a very different sort of like environment than most other sporting events, from what it looks like.
I will say also, I've been to the ones at OC, the boxing
Yeah.
events there. That like they're more amateurish, but still pretty cool. So I'm very
Mhm.
curious to see what it's like to see actual two monsters fight each other.
Yeah. And that is the big thing with something like boxing versus something like football, is that you're able to focus very specifically on one thing.
Yes. So what else do we have?
What else do we have? Spencer, actually, is the other one I want to talk about, which is the Princess Diana film
Oh
starring
yeah.
Kristen Stewart. And this one has the opposite ratings. 85% positive reviewers, 50% audience.
Okay.
It sounds like it is it sounds like those are understandable ratings in the same way that Eternals has more popularity amongst audiences than reviewers because of the emphasis on the CGI and the visuals.
Mm-hmm.
This has more of an emphasis on being somewhat biographic and storytelling, and the average audience person isn't going to really want that as much. So it makes sense that it'd be that way. I don't know. It's the kind of movie that I would probably like to go see just because of that biographical aspect to it.
Well, Kyril, I don't know about you, but it does not have enough superheroes in it for me to entertain my small puny ape brain.
Kristen Stewart isn't enough of a superhero for you?
No. She's
Carried all of the God, when did Twilight movies come out? Carried an entire generation of teen angst on her back. And this is the respect you give her?
she
How dare
helped
you?
create the 50 Shade of Grey books by association, so am I
Yeah, she
wrong?
wants to pop. No, not at all.
I know I'm not wrong. I'm right. Have you ever
For
seen
me,
those?
this is the kind of movie that I'm interested to see, though, just as much to see Kristen Stewart's acting.
Okay.
Because it's very easy to pigeonhole her as just the person who did Twilight and kind of ignore the rest of what she did. And the rest of what she's done does show that she's very competent outside of whatever the hell Twilight was.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the kind of movie for someone like her where she can kind of flex her talent and skills to prove that and sort of prove people wrong, you know?
Yeah.
I'm interested in it from that perspective. There's been a lot of instances where we've had actors that were either known for something or have been typecast a lot lately, and they've gotten much more serious roles. And it's just like, oh, damn, they're actually just a good actor on top of being the thing that they're known for. And it's been a welcome change. Stuff like, oh, shit. Steve Carell has done a lot lately that's really broken off from The Office and that kind of stuff, where it's just like, oh, holy shit, he's actually just a good actor.
Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. Crazy. Yeah, Spencer. It is a movie.
It is a movie with
Yep.
plot and character.
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
The main complaint that I'm seeing in the reviews seems to be that it's a bit long and plotting. Not long, but plotting and dull at times. But people are saying that, excuse me, they kind of appreciated that because it also worked very effectively to impart the emotional states of like having to deal with the royalty bullshit as a non-royal like Diana was. And if you can convey that just dull tiredness that effectively, maybe that's considered a success. Who
Maybe.
knows?
Yeah. So, what else do we have to talk about?
What else do we have? Dune is still making waves.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, I've been seeing some people that are kind of angry over it being a part one of two, and they were just like, "I didn't know this was a part one of two." Re.
I have seen so many people try to like throw up like the I'm intellectually superior for going to see a book movie instead of a comic book movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Then No Time to Die is over here, just like y'all say something.
Yeah. uh, what else
I'm
is
surprised that Eternals hasn't been listed on the box office Rotten Tomatoes yet.
I don't know much about how they do that.
It must be a situation where they're still waiting for the opening weekend numbers to be finalized, so they probably haven't updated it yet. I would imagine at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not super familiar either.
Oh well.
Okay, the U.S. Navy launched a ship named for gay rights leader Harvey Milk and former serviceman.
This is why I like the Navy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He was one of 6 new ships to be named after famed U.S. civil rights leaders. Served as a diving officer and lieutenant aboard the submarine rescue ship Kitawaki during the Korean War, forced out of service following 2 weeks of interrogation about his sexuality in 1955. So it's nice to see some amount of at least recognition of his work and service so long after.
So you're telling me this gay rights advocate's legacy is going to be filled with semen?
I mean, if you want to be crude about it,
It's so fucking terrible. I gotta get the shotgun. I gotta put myself down. GG, everybody. Nice knowing y'all. I'm out of shotgun shells.
shame.
I know. Oh, that was so bad.
You got to take the easy shots,
Really do. So yeah, congrats to the Navy. You guys are great.
Yep.
Have several
Thanks for
friends in
doing
the
the
Navy.
bare minimum.
Yeah. Thanks for showing you care.
Sorry. I'm just thinking about how thanks for showing you care by naming a ship after a gay former serviceman and civil rights leader. Or you could just fix the systemic problems you have, but just do the name something after a notable person thing. That works too.
Why do you think I said it? Let's face it. I'm here for the systemic issues. I'm getting comfortable with it at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, one day I might get on top of those systems, and then I can oppress people, Kyril.
That's how that works, isn't it?
It's just a
The
basic.
oppressed becomes the oppressors. The oppressors don't just stay there.
Yeah, dude. Don't you know? It's like a game of football. Sometimes we have the ball. Sometimes the other guy's got the ball. And when I get the ball, everybody's gonna have to be very afraid of me. Uh, Systemic issues must always be addressed right away, or else you get problems like this, kids.
Hmm. Apparently, the U.S. has reopened borders to vaccinated travelers.
I forgot those were even closed at the moment.
Yeah.
I forgot we're doing something all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm. I was also reading that apparently Australia is doing the same thing. I know in theirs was a lot more strict, and they probably still have more restrictions currently in place. But I follow Rainbow Six Siege stuff, and a couple of the Australian Pro League teams were being locked out of international competition because the government wasn't allowing them to leave the state. Or it was they would let them leave, but if they left, they wouldn't let them back in. So they basically couldn't leave.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Because they weren't letting anyone from outside the country come back in without very explicit permission and good reasoning ahead of time. And playing a video game professionally was not a good enough reason.
But video games are life, man. Let me into the country. Oh. What else is in the news? Are we just that strapped for topics?
I could have sworn I had something else here. Oh, Scott the Woz has a TV show.
Yeah, as if there wasn't another reason for me to feel like crap when I get out of bed.
Yeah, because he's the same age as us.
Yeah, he's
It's
like,
like, damn.
what is he? He's like a few months younger than me and a few months older than you. He's like
Yeah, something
right
like
between
that.
us.
It's right there.
Fuck you, Scott. Thank you.
Statistically the same.
Thank you, Scott. Very cool.
This is also the first I heard that apparently like G4 as a channel is apparently a thing again, like
Y-
officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, shows you how much TV I watch.
Dude, I was a part of like the original coming back campaign. I have like a
Hmm.
fancy t-shirt and everything.
Nice.
Yeah. You wake up and are looking at a G4 TV, G4 website. Maybe you're a fan from way back. Maybe your friend told you come here to get a free t-shirt. Well, the t-shirts are all gone, but we've got this super cool About Us article you're reading, so that's something. The most important thing is, yes, G4 is back. The Dimensions G4 relaunch is not available yet. Come party with us on launch day, November 16th, 2021.
Mm-hmm. Scott the Woz premieres at 7 p.m.
So, what's his show? Is it just like the same?
It hasn't been announced yet. It's presumed that it will probably be the same or in some way slightly cut down versions of what he already has.
Okay. You
But
know,
it's not really known yet. I don't think it's actually been like officially announced. This was like leaked on one of the TV listings websites that his name was listed.
damn you, Scott the Woz.
Or it's been no, he did announce that something would be happening at one of the main conventions, but like the details hadn't been released. And this one was leaked and it's been pulled down now, it looks like.
Damn you, Scott.
But the internet sees everything.
And the worst part is he's in Ohio, which means he's playing with a handicap already.
Yeah.
This is not fair. Where's our TV show? Oh God, G4 like they're hiring right now because of course you need a lot of people to start a network.
Yep.
And they're doing it through a sports jobs website.
I I guess. You know.
Esports.
Esports.
I wish I had money to go to these places. I would apply for a job.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a mind.
Oops. They have a YouTube channel again.
G4 does?
Yeah.
Is it just G4 TV?
Yeah.
Let's check this out. What content do they have?
Adam Sessler reviews. Because people miss X Play. He did one of Deathloop.
Interviews. Lots of interviews and reviews, looks like.
Yeah. The Completionist is there.
Makes sense, I suppose.
You know, I really do feel like they should go with some of the legacy like video game content creators at this point because it just makes sense.
Yeah, it's a natural progression.
Yeah. These are the people that helped kill the original G4, so why not just assimilate them?
Yeah. I think they're gonna have a problem though with competing with just stuff like YouTube.
Why?
Because I pay every month for HBO. I still don't watch it that often unless I'm looking for something specific. Most of the time, if I want to watch like Last Week Tonight, I just watch it on YouTube
Ouch.
because it's just more convenient.
Yeah.
It's where I'm already looking at other stuff on.
I mean, if I was them, I would just live stream it.
Yeah. Like, why am I gonna watch Scott the Woz on their TV channel? That's gonna probably have ads because it's it's a mainstream TV channel when I can just watch it without ads on YouTube that I already pay for.
You don't think they're going to do like the YouTube style ads on national television, do you think?
I have hope so.
This episode of Scott the Woz brought to you by G Fuel.
I've seen one that saw someone who got one that was like an hour and a half guitar session from Guitar Center or something like that.
What?
It was like Guitar Center was promoting like a beginner learn to play guitar thing as one of their advertisements, and it was getting pushed out as an ad in a full hour and a half block.
Okay. So here's the thing about like a lot of that stuff. I'm upset you're getting those ads and I'm not because I'm the actual
Oh no,
guitar.
I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not.
Thank God.
I have YouTube Premium. I am the elite. I don't see ads anymore. Fuck that. Those ads are so bad.
Okay, so I'm gonna rant a little bit about Guitar Center
Yeah.
stuff. What I absolutely
yeah.
despise about a lot of that shit is that it's like they always go around in circles and they never teach you how to get better. It's always just beginner guitar shit over and over again for the new
Mm-hmm.
people, and you can't really.
Oh
People
yeah.
start getting good, they're not going to come back to your fucking content, and that's
Right.
what I absolutely hate about that kind of stuff. Um, what was it? I was on Twitter the other day, and I do follow a couple guitar magazines just so I can laugh at the articles. And one of
Mm-hmm.
them was like a whole article to do an A chord on the guitar, which is one of the most basic chords. And
Right.
I almost like really ripped into it on Twitter because I was just so flabbergasted. But the idea of this article about one of the most basic things of guitar just being front page of a magazine that's making way more money than I'll see in my life. And I almost ripped right into it, but I felt bad for the writer because I can only imagine what it's like to write for those magazines that constantly have to do the same shit over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Must work though, you know. And I guess that's probably true, is that they probably make a shitload of money on people who are just like, yeah, I want to learn guitar. And then they go and they buy a bunch, like, a couple grand worth of shit, and they learn very basically how to play a guitar, and then that's it. And they don't really do anything with it.
I will say this: everybody wants to learn how to play guitar. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
wants to learn how to play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Shit gets fucked real fast.
People just want to say that they know how to do it.
Yeah, dude. Like most people are content with learning the Wonderwall and then going fuck all.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to be like a gatekeeper elitist type dude. I'm just saying this is what I've seen.
It's just the reality of it,
Yeah.
is that, it's the same way with how, like, the Wii exploded.
Yeah.
Is that people didn't really give a shit about that much about, like, a new console. It was just a relatively inexpensive thing that was novel and was pretty easy to do. You throw a couple $100 at it, you do the thing once or twice, and then it sits on your shelf or in a closet for the rest of your life.
That's just hobby culture in general.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Hobby culture sucks. Bring back genuine interest. The virgin hobbyist versus the Chad genuinely interested. Did you have any hobbies growing up as a kid?
Probably. I mean, most of my time as a kid was spent between um, school, baseball, and video games. So there wasn't a ton of time for other hobbies on top of that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Did you ever try like any like so my dad and my dad forced me to do model building with him
Mm-hmm.
because he wanted me to have that all American childhood. And I will
Yeah.
say this: I fucking hate models.
Yeah. I guess I had some stuff like that. I wouldn't really call it a hobby. It would just be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or that looks cool. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of not that cool, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm at the
I
age.
will say, now that I'm at, like, more of, like, in an adult age, and I have money to spend, I'm finding myself doing stuff like that a bit more,
Yeah,
where I'll just be like, oh yeah, $200 to try this thing. Sure, why not? And then I just don't really follow through with it.
yeah.
Do it once, but having disposable income does help with that.
So for me, it's like I'm at the age where at the age in social like awareness where I can kind of see my rural childhood has really jipped me out on a lot of things most people got to try out in life.
Yup. Yup.
Yeah, you
Oh
you
yeah.
you
I
feel
know
that?
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, because I don't know about you, but my little cousin in his school they have a robotics program.
Oh, really? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, the fucking best my school had was a 4-H.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think I knew people who were in 4-H, but it wasn't through the school.
Yeah, we had like a small little barn, and like there was no animals in there outside of my school. It was
Mm-hmm.
just there for like meetings. I was
Yep.
unaware where the rest of this 4-H went, and I was not interested enough to find out. God. What do you think's the most upsetting thing to you that you missed out on in childhood? Because the rural setting.
Oh, a lot of like internet culture stuff in the early 2000s,
re-
mostly.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't have cable even. So I had dial-up internet for the first like 14 years until I got a smartphone, basically.
Hmm.
At which point it was just like, oh hey, there's all of this shit out here.
I didn't get a smartphone until I was 20.
hmm
Yeah.
I shouldn't say smartphone. I got like a BlackBerry type phone
Okay.
that had a browser built into it.
Oh shit. Actual browser.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call it an actual browser because it was still like a track phone. And I still had minutes I had to stay in. But that was like my first time of just like, wait a minute, there's more?
More to the world?
What do you mean?
Existence isn't just fucking cornfields?
Yeah, right.
Fuck the Midwest. Really.
It's it's not so bad in Michigan compared to other parts because we have trees at least.
Yeah.
But oh my god, I went to a concert in Ohio last month and it's just like so flat and so empty. It's literally like 5 hours of just driving through fields and it sucks so much.
Oh, there's no hell like the Midwest.
Yeah. You can kind of tell though once you get into Michigan because it starts to get a little bit more hilly and there's a lot more trees.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still pretty bad.
My ideal like Michigan is living just outside the urban environment.
hmm
Just enough
Yep.
where you don't have to worry about the cornfields coming to eat you at night and
Yep. I agree.
just yeah, but not close enough that you get city life.
Yeah. My dream is to have like 5 acres of woods and
Really?
just a house in the middle of it.
Damn,
So
dude.
I don't have to see anything.
Damn.
But has to have like real internet. Fuck that shit.
I know I'll probably never afford this in my life, but I would love to start living more up towards the UP. Not like not the actual UP itself, but
Yeah.
like a little bit to the point where it's a reasonable drive to the lakeshore.
hmm
Yeah,
No, I get that.
I love that part.
Lakeshore prices are so expensive. Yeah.
Dude, Michigan is just a fucking real estate scam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we do is just sell lakefront property, and that's how we get our taxes.
hmm Yep.
And then we have Detroit.
There's Detroit. Yeah. Weekly reminder to go watch Carlos Maz's CRT video.
Oh God, I was on Facebook, and there was like a whole bunch of people that were pro CRT,
hmm
and it's like, wow. I mean, cool on you. I mean, I guarantee you're probably not talking about the right CRT, but cool on you. When
No,
you
if it's on
take,
Facebook, I'm sure they're not.
yeah, Facebook should just give out diplomas at this point based off how everybody thinks they're getting educated on that shit.
Yeah. It is quite messy.
Facebook University diplomas.
I heard the very predictable thing this week of how there was the big announcement last week that Facebook was going to be shutting down its facial recognition
Oh yeah,
thing. And then this week, it's just, oh no, it's not Facebook anymore. It's going to be under Meta.
are you serious?
I don't know how much. It's like to a point. I'm sure it's not quite 1-to-1, but
Yeah,
it's just like, oh no, we're not. They're not stopping entirely, at least. Which, like, yeah, I mean that's kind of expected.
I got my diploma.
Your diploma in Facebook University.
Yeah, good old
Nice.
FU.
Perfect. What is that? 140 by 240 resolution,
That's the best I could find.
as is customary.
What else is there?
Did you hear about? Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about this, but it's so dumb. I feel like I have to. The JFK thing.
JFK Jr.?
Yeah, the QAnon thing.
What the? Okay, I know JFK Jr. is a QAnon thing, but I've never been able to put them together, and I'm too
Okay.
scared at this point.
Do you know JFK Jr., the son of JFK, also assassinated?
No.
Okay, so let me pull up. Let me get the Wikipedia. JFK Jr. John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., American lawyer, journalist, magazine publisher, son of 35th president, died 1999. I believe he was assassinated. I might be mistaken on this. Oh no, his plane crashed. Right. So I'm sure that's where they're getting it from. Like, oh no, he's not. Because I mean, that's the thing is that he's not actually dead. And apparently on November 2nd at noon, he was going to show up and announce that he would be running as vice president with Trump for the next presidential election.
Yo.
So that's where this was coming from, was that a crowd was gathering waiting for him to show up. And then would you imagine he didn't? And it was particularly disgusting. Like, can you imagine his family having to deal with that?
Yeah. I can
It's
only
just
imagine the harassment they
gross.
got.
It's so gross.
That's really messed up.
Yeah. There was some amusing memes to come out of it though. Somebody was offering like $1,000 to anybody in the Dallas area that looked remotely like JFK Jr. to go make an appearance.
Oh my gosh. Is that what JFK Jr. looks like? Okay. He does not look like how I thought he would look.
Hmm.
I expected him to look just like JFK.
Excuse me.
You okay there, bud?
Yep.
Is the spirit of JFK Jr. trying to inhabit you?
It's speaking through me. No, not quite.
Darn.
Oh, apparently we have more information on the Scott the Woz show. It will
Okay.
be an hour. Mm.
Hour-long episodes.
Yeah.
Can I just let you in on one little criticism I have with Scott the Wise?
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I like Scott the Wise. If I could, I would have Scott the Wise be my friend.
Yep.
Parasocial relationships and all that bullshit. But there's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I criticize him the most on is his fucking use of his friends and like how he can never give them another voice and they all just have like amorphously the same voice and it feels like the
Yeah.
same person talking to himself over and over and over again. So I think it'd be cool if he brought his friends over, but it would also just scare me to hear the same person talking to himself over and over again for an hour.
I strongly imagine this will be just like one of his specials
Mm,
that's just been cut up for ads.
that'd be kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if it's something else, I would be pleasantly surprised. Um, but also if it is the YouTube stuff, which is what I expect, just because that's like the easiest thing to do, I don't think it'll do very well.
Yeah.
Because it's the same problem with like trying to translate video games to movies and movies to video games, is that they're made for two very different mediums, and transitioning from TV to YouTube or vice versa just doesn't work.
You know how you used to have the Wozniak News Network when he was a kid?
Mm-hmm.
You don't
Yep.
think he's just going to do that with gaming news, do you?
That would be amusing.
That would be.
I can't imagine it would do well, but that would be certainly amusing.
It wouldn't it? I just. That just came to my mind. Is there anything else we have to talk about?
I am skimming. Nothing off the top of my head. If you have anything else.
No, I'm just imagining the Scott the Woz writing style for dialogue used for over an hour.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure Borderline Forever is pretty close to that though.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Borderline Forever is an hour 3.
Okay.
Um 2 million views. Hell yeah. Nice job, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Send some love to your favorite schmoes.
Spread it around the Midwest.
Midwest, rise up. God. I've often had this really sick game I play with in my head. If like everybody says that when the South rises again,
Yep.
But I'm imagining in my head a lot of the time, what if different parts of the country decided to try succeeding? So like,
None of it would go well.
no, I just like to imagine how a civil war would work out for like different parts of the country and how stupid it would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have the South, but the Midwest. What if the Midwest rose up? What if we became the Midwest Confederacy?
They'd be fucked.
We would have nowhere to hide because all we have is corn.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for that part of the Midwest, yes, I was thinking more like Michigan and northern Michigan.
Well, like that's
Everyone
it.
retreat to the trees and we'll take the Finnish tactics.
No, we would actually have our own navy, which would be kind of cool.
That's true.
Yeah, can't imagine it would work out too
We
well.
would have control over the largest fresh body source of water in the world.
Yeah, there's our bargaining power. We could
Not
literally
wrong.
hold the world's fresh body water, for ransom.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
There's some political power right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like to imagine California, and all I have to imagine is the earthquake hitting, and they'd just be down.
I don't know. I feel like people underrate California and New York to an extent because, like, even if by the number, like per individual, they might not have as good of a shot as other states or regions, they have a lot of people. Like, a lot of people.
I mean, yeah. I look at the electoral college, good sir.
Yeah, California is about, what does that work out to? 14% of all of the US's population.
If it was so great, it'd be 15%. New York was a viable candidate for the capital. That's all I'm saying.
Apparently, Michigan has a greater population than New York. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Where the fuck is our population?
Detroit.
I was about to say Detroit or the UP.
It's actually not that much. Detroit has a population of about 674,000.
Oh,
So, I mean, that's a substantial number, but that's not as concentrated as I would have thought it was.
no.
I guess I wonder if how much of that includes suburbs, because Detroit has a lot of suburbs.
Hmm.
As a side note, we had the COVID vaccines approved for, was it 5 to 11s? I think is what it is.
I think so.
Yeah, so good progress on that front.
Go
Total
input the
vaccine
chip.
rates still suck, but kids can get vaccinated, so that'll mostly it'll help a lot with schools and reducing transmission in schools. That's the main thing. As well as boosters being widely spread now, pretty much everywhere. We can go get boosters now. I found that out. Maybe you won't be able to because you're not an essential worker anymore in the same sense, in
Damn.
person type of thing. You're not essential anymore. How does it feel?
Like I'm actually treated with some goddamn respect at my job.
Damn, wouldn't know.
I feel more essential all of a sudden.
Yeah, right.
My paycheck says I'm essential.
My paycheck says I'm more essential. And in America, that's what really counts, isn't it?
My benefits package says I'm essential.
Yeah. But yeah, booster shots are out if you have pre-existing conditions, age requirements, or are in an essential in-person, I think, field, like manufacturing particularly. You can get a booster. Go crazy.
Don't mind if I do. So since I got my vaccine through my job, my employer,
Yep.
the state of Michigan doesn't know that I'm vaccinated, and I keep
No, they
getting.
do.
They do.
Yeah, they do. I've been getting the same, but it's kind of a weird-ish system, but they have means of associating government IDs with the batches that were recorded. That's why the batch number is what matters, and how you can detect people who have fake criteria is that they can look up the batch number and see who actually received vaccines from that batch. And if your name isn't matching up with that batch, then they know you're faking it.
Because I keep getting like
Yeah.
a lot of notices from the state of Michigan to get my goddamn vaccine.
Yeah, I've been getting the same. But a lot of them I've noticed are just like to the residents of blank or very generically worded.
Yeah.
I did get one interesting one that was like from a person, it seemed like. It was like not a governmental one. It was just like some person who must have gone and like crowdfunded or did some fundraiser thing and put out a mailing letter of just like a single sheet of paper on an envelope that was just like, "Hey, get vaccinated, you motherfucker. We want to go do stuff too. Fuck you."
Social credit scores coming, bitch. Get
It
vaccinated
was-
before it comes in.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I saw it. I haven't been following it because I don't want that on my Twitter all the time. But I get the Crypto Bros Taking L's is a meme account that collaborates, or Crypto Bros Taking L's on Twitter and other places. And one of them was somebody who was basically just like talking about what if social credit scores were on the blockchain,
No.
and they couldn't see how that was not a good thing. And their example was just something like, imagine if you could apply for a job and in 60 seconds it would check your score on the blockchain and get a yes or no. No bias, no racial profiling, just quick. And it's just like, no, that's not how any of this works at all. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Nice try, Gigi Ping.
You're just speeding up the racism. You're not getting rid of it.
Oh, that's terrible.
I think that's about it. That's all I have, at least. Crypto Bros eating shit this week, and I am loving every second of it.
Crypto bros just need to fucking calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if that's the case, I'm Youth Ryan, and I've been a Schmo.
I'm Cairo, and I've been a Schmo.
And I await your L's, Crypto Bros.